Hello, friends, and welcome to the Lake Whitney Area Chamber Podcast. That is a mouthful, Janice. We're going to have to work on a better name for that. But this is episode 1, and the reason that we're putting this together is we want to be able to promote local businesses in the area and provide value to the community. And since that is also the goal of the chamber, we were really looking for ways we can improve our outreach during these troubling times. And this seemed to be a really good opportunity. I am Justin Jones. I am one of the directors on the Whitney Area Chamber of Commerce. I have 3 guests today. I will let you introduce yourselves, but we'll start with Colt. Just go ahead and give us your full name and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Fantastic. Well, I am Colt Hatcher. I work for good old Witcher Healthcare. Our home base is located in Clifton, Texas. We also have a clinic in Whitney, Texas. So that's kind of how I got involved with the Whitney Chamber of Commerce. I've served on, Janice, do you know the number? 3 years? 3 years? About 3 years on the chamber board. Was the past president, passed the torch over to Adam. I'm currently the vice president of the chamber board, and kind of like you echoed, the whole drive and passion behind what we do on the chamber is to promote business and promote our community. And I think that's part of just my little 2 cents worth as part of the background and the driving force behind the chamber is, yes, we are the Chamber of Commerce, and our goal is to ultimately promote business, but really be ingrained in the community as a whole and promote Whitney as a tourism attraction and economic development and grow it that way. So that's my story.
Great. Janice?
My name's Janice Sanders. I've been with the Lake Whitney Chamber of Commerce going on 2.5 years now. I've lived in Whitney for 7 of those years. And my goal is the same as everybody else's, is to promote Whitney and the surrounding areas, basically put the unity in our community and move forward and make a successful Chamber of Commerce and business alliance.
Okay. I guess last but not least, Adam.
Good morning. My name's Adam Bain. I'm the current superintendent at Lake Whitney State Park. I'm the fortunate enough to lead the chamber as the president for this coming year, or this year right now. I've been on the board for almost 2 years. My goals for being a part of the chamber and is to lead and to promote business and growth. We have the draw of the lake for the area, but we want to make sure that outside of the lake season that we have chances and opportunities for our businesses to thrive all year round and grow, bring new businesses in, economic development, promotion of the businesses that we have here, grow the community and be a part of the community on a daily and weekly basis.
Very nice. So I like that we're all on the same page as for, what the purpose is of the chamber. And really, while we all join for very similar reasons, we want to see the community thrive. Let's talk a little bit more. I want to kind of expound on what the role of the chamber is, because I know in the community itself, there's probably a few questions like what actually our purpose is. What is the chamber actually supposed to be doing? I'll leave that question open to whoever wants to handle that. So don't everyone jump at once,
All right. So it looks, as always, whenever these things happen, everybody tends to look at me. So, well, the idea behind the chamber, and I think traditionally, if you live in a much larger city, the Chamber of Commerce is solely dedicated to business and promoting business and, attracting business and doing it that way, kind of working hand in hand in conjunction with an EDC. In Whitney, currently, we don't have the luxury of having an EDC. So there are quite a few gaps that I think we have identified as a chamber board in the community of Whitney and the surrounding areas. So that's one piece that I want to kind of make clear up front is we are not Whitney proper Chamber of Commerce. Our goal is to expand our reach to, almost all of Hill County and what we can do inside of Hill County and even crossing over into the Bosque County side. So I think for us, our kind of goals and the things that we have talked through is to have the ability to, yes, promote business. That's kind of our number one priority. And whatever you business in the Whitney and surrounding areas need from us, please reach out. But also to be, Janice had a very, very good catchphrase that we need to put a trademark behind, is put the unity in the community, and whatever that looks like. And that, to us, that looks at like things like the barbecue cook-off that we have coming up, golf tournaments, Pioneer Day, all the stuff that we can do in and around the Whitney community and draw everybody closer together as one. Now, that looks a little different now, so we want to draw everybody closer together within 6 feet. But we're working with ways around on how to get that accomplished. And for example, if you guys go and track our Facebook page, one thing that we are currently doing that isn't necessarily inside the box of a Chamber of Commerce is we're doing a water and Gatorade drive to be able to give those to some of our volunteers in the community, some of our fire departments, to do all of those things. So you wouldn't necessarily put that inside the box of a true Chamber of Commerce, but ultimately what that's going to do is that's going to draw all of us together as a community and further push us forward, because those fire departments and those volunteer networks see that the community cares about them enough to be able to donate their time and money. And then ultimately it's a cyclical effect. Then they want to give back to the community even more. And then the community sees that they care, and, it's going to constantly go in a circle.
Good. Yeah. It feels like everybody's box is being redrawn right now as far as what we do. So that's really good. Does anyone want to add to that?
Yeah, I want to take a minute to just kind of add on what Colt was saying. The board of directors over the last 12, 15 months has done some strategic planning, and we have looked at different ways, what that looks like a traditional chamber. And of course, as Colt said, the traditional Chamber of Commerce, is strictly business and EDC. Well, we have to wear a couple different hats being the chamber for the Whitney area, and we realize that there's a lot that could potentially go on with that. We know our businesses have multitude of different needs. It's changed tremendously in the last 3 months. I don't know if we'll have a new normal, or a new normal will definitely happen. We'll never be back to how we were in 2019, I guess. But we have done some strategic planning, and hopefully for some long-term growth and development to have a roadmap to get there. If you don't have a goal to get to in 5 years, and you don't do the things in the first 6 months to 12 months to 2 years, you're never going to make that big jump to get there. And something down the road, a big dream that we have is possibly having an event center in the Whitney area, to host events and really attract different businesses to the community. So that's kind of a bigger goal and dream that we have, but it's a need, and we want to pay attention to our daily and weekly, monthly needs, the smaller needs of our businesses and community, to make sure we're hitting their goals and growing in a strategic way.
That's good. So I don't know if I know Colt mentioned EDC earlier. I don't know if you explained what that was to anyone that might not be aware of that. Could someone just kind of explain, just for future reference, what EDC is? Colt.
So you're probably going to hear us talk about that a lot, because it aligns so closely with kind of what our goal is. Adam mentioned us doing some strategic planning, and really, kind of backing up too, that's something that's entirely new for the chamber, is doing a strategic plan and really looking internally inside the soul of the chamber of what we're about and what our purpose is and what value we can add to the community. And one of those things is truly, deriving economic development. So EDC is Economic Development Corporation, I guess. And really, that's one thing that we are trying to look at, because ultimately, if our vision is to grow Whitney and the surrounding areas, then we have to have economic stimulus to be able to do that. And to us, that kind of looks like a multitude of different things. One, that looks like tourism, because we have the lake. That's a huge attractant for people in the DFW Metroplex and even as far down as Austin. So, getting businesses to where people have a reason to come to the lake outside of just recreation. You can come to the lake and come to the body of water, but if you don't have the ability to get gas while you're here, then you're not going to come because you don't want to get stuck here, or groceries or food, or, whatever the industry is that can attract people to our area. That's ultimately the idea. And then the flip side of that is the business side. We have to have the ability to attract the business in.
Mm-hmm.
So, even industrial business to give them the ability to have a reason to want to come to our Whitney area and stretching out into Hill County. Ultimately that's kind of what the chamber's mindset is currently, is let's do as much as we possibly can to grow our area. That way we can all thrive, because ultimately growth is going to be the thing that's going to make our community thrive more so than what we are currently.
That's good. Let's, listening to you talk about it, that's the EDC is a topic that I believe probably in the near future deserves its own time set aside to discuss, because it is a deep topic, and it is worth it. I feel as though not everyone knows enough about it. It's something that we talk about a lot, but the community as a whole probably isn't kind of aware that that's something that we're working towards. So that would definitely be worthwhile looking at in the future, just on its own dedicated episode, I think. So something else that we probably need to bring up, and I know this is on a lot of people's minds, for those of you that aren't aware, the chamber used to meet in Whitney. We had our own dedicated building next to the police department, and very recently, we made a pretty big move. We changed locations. And so I know there's a lot of questions in the community about the move itself. And so this is probably a good opportunity. We need to address that, what actually led us to doing the move and the purpose, and moving forward, what that's going to look like.
Yeah, I'll touch base on that briefly here. The first and main reason we moved outside the city limits was to capture, for people to understand that we were the Lake Whitney Area Chamber of Commerce, and we had an opportunity to move to our current location north of Whitney, near White Bluff, and that was just one of the opportunities we had. And we want to make sure in all our businesses and all our members understand that we're the Lake Whitney Area Chamber of Commerce, and we want to affect positive change for the whole area, not just the downtown community, not just the city of Whitney. Make sure, as Colt mentioned earlier too, that goes to some businesses on the other side of the lake in Bosque County. They're valuable members as well, and we want to make sure we capture that across the area, and promote growth for the whole area. We know we're not going to be at this location for the next 5 years. Our office might move around. Some of the things too with chambers changing, some chambers don't have main offices anymore. People are doing a lot of this stuff online or over the phone, especially now with our effects that we've seen of COVID-19. So our office and our goals have not changed just because our office locations changed. Our goals are still the same, to promote growth and keep our members at the forefront of that change and growth and improvements. So that's the main reason we've decided to move outside of the current location.
Good.
And there were a couple of different factors that played into that, and we had a multitude of discussions around that, and pretty in-depth discussions around that, from a board's perspective. It wasn't just a haphazard move that we said, tomorrow, okay, fine, we're gonna move out of the city. We spent a lot of time discussing what that looked like and what that meant for all of our members and our community. And, quite honestly, one of the things that played into that was we got cheaper rent space. For those of you who don't actually know how the chamber is funded, we aren't funded by any other mechanism than membership dues. That's what we have, and fundraisers. So yes, we collect some revenue for booth fees for Pioneer Day, but outside of those type things, that's the way we're funded. So, with all of you who are probably listening to this being a business, that your financials are strapped. So probably one of the things that's going to fall off the list is going to be chamber dues. And, we've seen a decrease in that, and therefore that's going to impact our financials, and we have to be smart just like you do, especially during this time, it's impacted everybody. If it's impacted your business, it's impacted, the chamber as well.
It makes a lot of sense. Yeah. And so that's good. I feel like that would probably answer 99.9% of the questions that are out there right now. Janice, did you have anything you wanted to add?
No, pretty much that's it. I feel like that there is a lot, we have a lot of supporters in our community, in our city. We have Bosque Real Estate, we have the accounting experts, we have several that support the chamber, and we want to continue to support them as well.
Mm-hmm.
And when we're outside, today when I was coming into work, I noticed outside the city limits, there was several of our businesses have billboards outside coming into work, and I'm like, I never would have noticed that.
Yeah.
If I was still in one spot. So I felt like getting out and moving. I saw things as a little bit different as a chamber and as a business one, and I feel like our chamber is moving forward. And I think that's a good thing. And we can bring our realtors together with our finance companies like you and the accounting experts and build bigger. And we can't go wrong with that in our community.
Good. It's real good. There was one more thing I wanted to address, and this is kind of a, as long as we're kind of clearing up misconceptions, this has been kind of probably an old misconception. The chamber is separate from other or entities, in the community. Would anyone like to just kind of step up and just kind of clear all the cobwebs out and explain, how the chamber functions individually? I know that some people are probably hesitant to reach out to the chamber for some reasons, and I think this might tie to that. So if anyone wants to take that and just elaborate.
As always, I'll go.
Please do.
And I think, that's another thing that I would just like to tell everybody, as a chamber board, one thing that we have really looked at is each one of us individually have strengths. And I think that that's why our chamber board right now is moving forward more so than we have in the past. Everybody has their strengths and can sit down around a table and we can discuss and we can argue all of our different points, and ultimately we work well enough together to know, okay, when we're working in this certain area, Justin's going to be our point person because he's got the area expertise. So I guess I say that to say that my expertise is maybe talking, and maybe probably more so than you guys want to hear on this. So that's kind of why we all laugh whenever I start talking, as you can see on the video, because anytime anybody needs to say something and nobody is saying anything, everybody just kind of looks at me and is like, oh, you're on. So, but yeah, I think that the chamber, when the chamber was founded, it was a group of businesses that kind of got together and said, hey, we're going to band together for the good of our business. Over time, the board has changed out and the board has switched. And yes, we are all still business owners and we all still have that in mind, but we also want to expand that and have the ability to reach other businesses and reach other places. A lot of municipalities, they have city-funded EDC. They have city-funded chambers. They have city employees that run those things. Whitney is not in the place to be able to do that, and it's for some reasons. I'm sure that if you live in the city of Whitney, that you enjoy having an EMS service, especially when your loved one is the person who needs that service. That there's funding that goes into that. It's not free, as well as police force. I'm sure you guys enjoy having that. I'm sure you guys enjoy having fire. I'm sure, all of those things are important things for our community to have. The tax base that is associated with the city of Whitney just isn't enough to fund very much else. And you can feel however you want about the chamber. You can feel however you want about the city. But I definitely think that we work well enough together that, our goals align and we're all moving in the same direction. It's just that the city funding isn't there to support a chamber of commerce. And quite honestly, I think that that's a good thing. I think that it gives us the ability as a chamber to not be solely dedicated to the confounds of Whitney proper. It gives us the ability to accomplish what all of our goals is, and that is to expand our reach and be able to draw people into the Whitney area. Because ultimately, I think our viewpoint on the chamber board is, even if we pull somebody to White Bluff, we have the ability to pull a business that sits across from the gate from White Bluff. That's ultimately going to benefit everybody in the area of Whitney. Because if those people need to go get lunch, where are they going? They're going downtown. They're going into Whitney and they're going to go get lunch. If they're going to go shopping, if their wives are going to go shopping, if they're going to go to the hardware store, they're going into Whitney and they're going to supply those businesses with their money to be able to get those things accomplished. So, I think, yes, we are separate from those other entities, meaning from a financial standpoint, like we aren't funded by by the city, by the county, by any of those things. We are our own standalone entity. But I think that we work well enough together that, it gives us the ability to get some things accomplished that if there was an adversarial relationship that we wouldn't be able to. So, and one really good example of that is Pioneer Day. If we didn't have the help of the city, we couldn't get that accomplished. There is no way we could get that accomplished with blocking roads and helping us with traffic and even parade routes and all of those things. We rely heavily on the city for a lot of things, and permits for events. A lot of people don't understand that it takes permits to get events done. Even from a chamber perspective, we're not exempt from doing that, and nor should we be. Yeah. So, ultimately, I think, putting a bow on it, us being separate from us being our standalone entity ultimately does the entire Whitney area a lot of good. Just being able to pull businesses in, pull people in, attract businesses. And honestly, a lot of what we do is repair relationships. People will come to us and say, hey, as a business, I need help with, accounting. Then we can say, well, that's perfect, because we've got a chamber member right down the road that we can put you guys in connection with, and they can take care of all of your accounting needs. Mm-hmm. And I think that's another aspect of what the chamber does for you as a business and you even as an individual in the community.
Very good. That's very good.
And one of the positive changes with growth that happens, and as Colt mentioned, the tax base in the city of Whitney, and of course, Hill County has tax generation and revenues. New businesses that come to the community, whether that's in Hill County or in the city of Whitney, inside the city limits, those businesses positively affect the tax base, and put money into that revenue stream, and then takes the burden off of if those are businesses that are coming in or people moving here, they both affect the tax base in a positive way. Mm-hmm. And then newer businesses, bigger businesses will undoubtedly take that burden off the city, off the individual that's moving to the community as well. So let's not forget that when we're talking about growth and how that revenue stream is generated. It's not a complicated answer, but it does have a positive change on the tax base and the current burdens or restrictions or limits on taxes.
Very good. All right. Well, we're getting a little low on time, but does anyone have anything they want to add or feel like they just need to say before we wrap it up?
I just want to reiterate that we're fortunate to have the members that we do in the community that we do, and we all live in this area, and we are working hard for our members. We appreciate each and every one of y'all. This time, the last 3 months are unprecedented times for everyone involved, from a personal level to a business level to everywhere in between. Mm-hmm. Our dedication to our members has not changed. We're going to go through a lot of change over the next couple months, but it's going to be for the better. Positive growth is what we're trying to implement in the area, and we look forward to still serving our members in our community.
Very good. Janice, what were you going to say? You got kind of cut off.
Same thing that Adam just said.
All right. Okay. So now that you both got it out of the way, Colt.
well, just basically to echo those things. We appreciate you guys, very much so. Having the idea of a podcast was kind of born out of what we do in our spare time. I think a lot of us listen to podcasts, and we got to thinking of, all of our lives have changed dramatically in the past 6 months. And so thinking about what's the best way possible that we can serve our members and serve our community. And, you know, we struggle oftentimes with getting information out to you guys. And that's, I think that's difficult for all of us, even you in your business. That's kind of a difficult thing of getting advertising out there and letting people know what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And we just kind of felt like this was an avenue to be able to do that. We have, I think within a day, we had 10 or 15 podcast ideas planned. We're going to roll them out. I think our next one is we're going to try to get Whitney ISD involved, because I know a lot of you are parents and want to figure out what the upcoming school year looks like. And we have a multitude of questions around that. So hopefully we can tie them in and sit down. But, you know, all of us are available all the time. So feel free to reach out to us. If you have questions, or if you have ideas of things that you would like to see on the podcast, you know, or guests that you would want us to have on, you know, absolutely, that's an option. I know one thing, just to kind of, so we don't get blown up about this, we're planning on having some of our Hill County government on a podcast. Their schedules are crazy. So that includes, you know, possibly some of our city government officials and our county government officials, and kind of having a roundtable that way and having some discussions about what everything looks like that way. So, you know, like I said, if there are any ideas that you guys have that would be beneficial to all of you, that would be great. Always, you know, one thing, since I was the one that mentioned this, I guess I can mention this again, like fundraiser ideas for the chamber. If there are things around that you can throw our way, you know, we would be greatly appreciative of that, to be able to still function and be able to provide value to you guys. But yeah, like we've said, our ultimate goal is to be able to provide value to each one of your businesses and the community as a whole. Mm-hmm. So that's what we want to do. And if we aren't doing that, let us know, and let us know how we can do it better.
Absolutely. Well, I also just want to reiterate, you know, we're also, aside from the people Colt mentioned, you know, we want to reach out to community business leaders, people like that. You know, that's, you know, the chamber is here for you, and we want to give you an opportunity to sit down and talk with us also on the podcast. So feel free to reach out to us, or otherwise we'll be reaching out to you sometime. But that said, we are short on time, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. I want to thank Colt and Adam and Janice for taking time out of their morning to come participate in this interview. And I want to thank everybody for watching. There will be more content coming soon. Please be sure to give the video a like and subscribe so you can keep up with content in the future. If you don't follow us on Facebook, this is a great opportunity. Jump on there, look up Lake Whitney Area Chamber, and give us a like so you can keep up with, because Janice is in charge of that, and she puts out a ton of stuff that's never going to show up in a YouTube video or show up on a podcast. So it's all great. If you want to stay connected, those are the best ways to do it. I'll see you on the next video. Thank y'all, and take care.